Hello, my name is DJ and I'm Jumbo Commander on YouTube. You know, I'm a big fan of the Command Zone and I'm a patron. So when I heard about the opportunity to audition to be on game nights, I was so hyped. But I'm not going to submit an audition. I have my own platform and I'm actually really excited to see a superfan come to LA to play Magic. I think it's going to be a great contest. I'm really passionate about Magic and so passionate about this deck that it was my first YouTube video. I spent 45 minutes rambling and gushing about Braids Conjurer Adept. The goal of this deck is to take advantage of the Braids trigger. Well, not just my Braids trigger, all of the Braids triggers. This deck is stacked full of huge creatures that I can cheat into play off of Braids and interactions so that I can deal with yours. I would actually prefer not to have to remove your gigantic monster. I just maybe want to redirect it somewhere else. I love the choice that Fate Spinner gives to opponents. They have to choose whether they're going to skip their draw step, their main phase, or their combat. Just make sure to remind them that if they skip their main phase, there's no time to make land drops. Yeah, you're going to find most players skipping combat. There's other ways to avoid getting into combat with your opponents, like propaganda, but I'm a particular fan of just leaving up mana and threatening to upgrade your opponent's creatures into frog lizards, giant green apes, or nameless 2/2 manifests. It's really fun to have a grip full of interaction, but onboard tricks almost work better. I don't want to have to use my interaction, instead I just want to funnel my opponents in other directions. This means you need to be quite reactive. No one's going to be afraid of you if you're tapped out. So cards like Vidalcan Ori, Lane Line of Anticipation, Winding Canyons are amazing. It's also nice to be able to flash Braids in so that you get the first trigger. When things get out of control, just slam that reset button with Evacuation, Cyclonic Rift, Cataract Leviathan, or my favorite board wipe you're not playing, Ixodron. This deck has the feeling of a Chaos deck without the misery of never having any control. This deck needs to have the backbone of solid ramp and great draw. It's fun and splashy to put some huge creature into play early, but as you transition to the mid and the late game and the Chaos stops working, you're gonna need to be able to hard cast these big, impactful cards to finish the game. If you're skeptical of this deck, then you're right to be wary. There is no way this deck should win. Except that it does. See, the problem is that I'm giving each one of my opponents a fantastic gift before it even comes around to me. And spot removal is a thing that's really prevalent in our format. If someone just kills Braids before it's my turn, I can end up with double-digit CMC cards stranded in my hand. You have to be able to make deals with Braids. You're offering them a great gift, and politically, you want them to feel obligated to you. The reason why I love to play this deck is because it's so interactive, and it opens up the table to conversation. Braids is never cast in silence. There's always enthusiastic campaigning and probing questions and careful bluffing. In short, it makes for a really great game of multiplayer Magic.